Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today we have an exciting new figure to unbox, and that's the Rengoku vs Akaza from the Mugen Train movie. Now this is going to be my heaviest and biggest figure since it is over 60 pounds, but I'm excited, so let's get started. As you can see, right out of the box is going to be the splash art of the figure itself. There was nothing too special on the box itself in the packaging since it only had the splash art in the front. Now this unboxing is going to be my full experience that I had unboxing this figure, so if you want to skip around then feel free to click around the time lapse below. Now since the box came in two parts, I'll be unboxing the top one first and the bottom one right after that. The first piece is going to be Rengoku's body itself. The LX Studio did really well on detailing all the damages that had been on his clothes by putting little scuffs all around the front, the back, and on the legs. The next piece is the big flame coming out of Rengoku's sword. Now I will say this is very well designed because it kind of looks similar to the art style coming out of the movie. And as you can see, there is even a placeholder for Rengoku's sword to put it into the figure as well. Now there are many smaller flame pieces that do come with the figure. There are nothing too special about them, but I do love the LX Studios adding additional flame pieces because it does feel like it's enhancing the fighting scene a lot more. Now of course the highlight of the figure is the flame dragon. It has a well detailed dragon head with very sharp teeth. It is the second heaviest piece of the figure as it does weigh roughly around 15 pounds. The dragon also comes with two small rock-like attached on the right side of the head. The dragon does have an LED light capability with a power on button on the back side, but we'll show you more on that later in the video. Now the next piece is not going to be very noticeable on the figure itself because it is a holder for the dragon's head, but I do love the extra details placed on the piece itself. The next two pieces I'm going to show you are two replaceable Rengoku's head. This one being the angry face with veins popping out on his forehead, and this one is the same angry face but with blood coming out on the right side of the face. And depending on your preferences, you can choose either head that goes on Rengoku's body. Now the hands were a bit dirty when they shipped it to me, which isn't really a problem since it's covered with swords and can be cleaned up at any time, but you can still see the details of the veins and the bones that seem very realistic. Now this isn't part of the figure itself, but is a placeholder for the extra Rengoku's headpiece. What is pretty cool is that this does say that this is the second figure that they made out of the limited 222 figures out there. And we have the Rengoku sword. Now the LX Studio did make these into three separate pieces, which I don't really like. I wanted the handle and the blade to be connected or at least have a small magnet to make the attachment a lot easier. The sword itself on the tip is going to be very sharp, so please do be careful. The sword itself is still pretty and heavy, which makes it feel a little bit more premium. Now, when trying to put the handle and the blade together, it does come out very easily. Finally, the antagonist of the movie, Akaza. Now this piece is very similar to the Rengoku's, as it does have many details throughout the body. I am talking about the hair, the veins, and the shadows to show all the bones. Now there are going to be some movable pieces throughout the figure, such as the little beads that is on the bottom of the legs. And there is a little wristband that is a little bit movable, but I don't recommend moving as much because it does seem a little bit fragile. The last piece on the top of the box is going to be Akaza's wind attack. Similar to Rengoku's flame piece, this piece does come with many different forms, but again isn't too special. To make the attachment easy, it does come with a big magnet on the bottom. And after unwrapping all the packaging, this is going to be the bottom part of the box. And the last big flame piece that is similar to the other ones, but this one does have a rock attached to it again, very similar to the dragon's head. Now this is the smallest flame piece that comes out of Rengoku's body. That was a nice addition to the figure. Next is going to be Rengoku's coat. Now this coat does have some damages to it on the outside, but not to worry as this is part of the design. The upper part of the coat does have some shading to it to show some shadows and have the flame coming out on the bottom. This is the second and last piece of Akaza's attack. It does have some rock attached to it on the right side and gonna have a magnet at the bottom of the piece. And finally, the last piece of the figure is the base itself. This is going to be the heaviest part of the figure since it does weigh roughly around 24 pounds. Now on the base, you can see some of the snowflake ability from Akaza's painted on the left side, and Imuru's eyes all over the train. Now I do see some imperfections on the eyes as it does look a little faded compared to the others. But I will say this is probably the cost of being the first few owners of this figure. As I was putting all the pieces together, I did have some trouble finding where a few of the pieces went, such as a small flame piece coming out of Rengoku's body and another flame piece coming out of a bigger flame. But after a long time planning, here is the full assembly of the figure. And there you have it, guys. Rengoku vs Akaza from the Mugen Train movie made by LX Studios. Now, only thing I wish this figure had more of was the blue attack from Akaza around the figure, like the red flame, but still looks amazing. As I mentioned before, this figure does have LED capability. There are two modes to the LED. The first one is a static red light on the dragon, and the other is the red lights coming in waves towards the head of the dragon. And the final close-ups to see everything in detail. Again, the hands were a little annoying to set up with the sword since it didn't seem to fit and always falls apart. And this was the best I could do. Overall, I did love this piece and don't have any other major complaints other than that. And that'll be all for this unboxing. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you liked the video, please hit that like and subscribe button for more videos in the future. Bye bye!